This is the National Pro Cup Championship, crown jewel of late model competition, here for race number 17 of 24, the GameOnOhio.com 100 at the Kil-Kare Raceway in Xenia, Ohio. Pepsi Max, proud sponsor of the pole award given to the fastest qualifier at each National Pro Cup Championship event. And on the pole for the second time this season, Zach Gott in car number 71. Of course, this is one of two Ohio races, and this team based in Columbus, Ohio, as well as Zach Gott, who's based in Circleville. Gott leads the field to the green, and right beside him, the 18 of Chuck Johnson, and you have the Power Steering Incorporated teammates of Star Banner and Valerie Forge making up row number 2 as they go around this 3/8 mile, very weirdly shaped oval, very unconventional. The cars are almost in a slide from turns 1 all the way to turn 4. The caution comes out on lap number 2, the first one of the day, as the 56 gets a little bit loose in turn 1 and spins out, collects the 66 and Nate Patrick, who takes a little ride up the wall. However, both drivers are able to continue. Coming back around, a little 4-wide action as the 8 gets caught in that, and, well, he will continue going despite that. Officials considered looking at that, but considered it just a random racing accident, and no penalties will be assessed as a result. Gott continues to lead on the restart. He's been leading a lot of laps in the past couple races. Of course, won the race in New Hampshire, led the most laps at Boston and at Manhattan Raceway Stadium, but did not win either race. And as Chuck Johnson has a run underneath the 71 for the lead, heading into turns 1 and 2, as you can see, not much of a backstretch here, not much of a front stretch. You're constantly turning at this racetrack. And here comes Valerie Forge underneath of Gott to try to take over the second position, as Chuck Johnson has now taken the lead and leads a lap and gains an all-important bonus point. The 78 of Alexis Farr falls out of the race early due to a tire hub failure on the 78 car. Of course, she was penalized for what happened at Manhattan Raceway Stadium. She has to start in the back for 2 consecutive races as Valerie Forge takes over the lead. Gott with a run underneath the 18 of Chuck Johnson once again for the second position, as Star Banner looks on from the number 4 spot, and Gott will now try to chase down that 24 Valerie Forge. Roy Warren in the 99 having a good start to his race, currently running in the 6th position, and takes over the number 5 spot from Ray Takita in the 08. Here's the one of Eric Drake rider. Bit of a struggle as in the past couple of races with various mechanical problems and crashes, has set his championship bid back a little bit, but hopes to make up for it with a good run here today at Kil-Kare. The second caution of the day would fly on lap number 15 as the 66 of Nate Patrick gets into the back of the 49 and slides up into the wall, and the 02 of Jennifer Duke gets into the side of him, and the 56 of Sean Johnson also got a piece of that as well. The 66 will continue on, as well as the 02. Valerie Forge continues to lead on the restart with Gott running in second. And here's Nate Patrick trying to get his lap back. Gets up into the 24. Racing her to try to get that lap back to 66. Smacks the wall himself. Oh, look out. 3 wide at the front. That's not going to work. Ooh, wow. How did they pull that one off? As you see, the 24 smacks the wall hard. Gott goes for the lead in between the 56 and the 71. Whoa, beating and banging, dip and dive, slip and slide, and somehow everybody keeps their cars pointed in the right direction. That is worth another look, this time from the 66 and 8 Patrick, as he smacks the wall himself going into turn 4, and then he's 3 wide with the 56 and 71. Wow, how that was not a wreck, I will never know. That was a great piece of driving by everybody involved right there. The officials did give a little bit of discretion warning to the 66 to try not to race the leaders that hard, especially this early in the race. I mean, even though he is trying to get back on the lead lap, that was a bit aggressive on the 66's part. And there you see the 56 on board with 71. Wow, that was a sandwich that Zach Gott did not want to be involved with, and somehow they kept from wrecking. Unbelievable. Meanwhile, in the midst of all this, Star Banner gets by her teammate and Chuck Johnson. That's for the second position, by the way, and now she has a run underneath the Gott for the lead of the race, as the 56 and the 66 are now back on the tail end of the lead lap and desperately hoping for a caution so they can come back around on the lead lap. Behind them, the 99 of Roy Warren gets a run on the 18 of Chuck Johnson. That's for the 3rd position. Roy Warren making his way forward as Valley Forge now has a run underneath of Chuck Johnson. That's for the 5th position. Or excuse me, the 4th position. And Gott now has a run underneath the 56 Sean Johnson to try to put him back a lap down. And Warren closes in on the 16 of Star Banner and has a run into turns 1 and 2, into turn 3 for the number 2 position. This is the highest we've seen Roy Warren in a race all season. And after that great run at Manhattan, he's certainly looking forward to another great run today. Caution number 3 flies on lap 27 as the 60 of Nick Van Gelder gets caught in a bit of a 3-wide situation with the 04 and the 34 of Parker Witten. Just a little harmless slide by both drivers, and they continue on without a problem. Under this caution, the 56 of Sean Johnson suffered an ignition problem, and the 18 of Chuck Johnson suffered engine problems underneath the hood of that 18. Both drivers out of the race early. Don't really know what happened on this restart. It was a bit messy as the 71 was leading and everyone was trying to come back around under caution. Several drivers made pit stops, ill-advised pit stops, because there's not much of a pit road here and this track is not very long, as the 08 of Ray Takita up against the wall. As Gott continues to lead the way, Star Banner up underneath them. Eric Drakerider is actually in the 2nd position now, and right behind and challenging him for that 2nd position is Vinny LaBouffe in the number 2 car for Boulder Fist Racing. This is easily his best run of the season, currently running up inside the 3rd position and challenging Drakerider for the 2nd spot as Zach Gott has to pull onto pit road. Your leader of the race has a flat right front tire. Wow, what a tough break for Gott in one of his home races. Has one of the best cars of the day, but he does catch a huge break when the caution comes out on lap 36 as the 08 of Ray Takita suddenly slows and gets tagged by the 13. And oh, Drakerider into the back of the 08. Wow. The leader of the race gets caught up in this, and it's one of your championship contenders. Drakerider trying to take advantage of Chuck Johnson's problems today, and he gets caught up in a mess not of his own doing. Wow, this race has certainly turned on its head in a hurry, as Drakerider now has to peel down pit road to have some repairs done to that one car. Tough break for Drakerider, as his season has suddenly become unraveled here in the midway portion of the season. And no, I'm not kidding here. Vinny LaBouffe is your new race leader, but he's got some very strong lap cars underneath them. Got the 34 Parker Witten trying to get back on the lead lap, as well as the 71 of Zach Gott, who only lost 1 lap despite having that flat tire. So that caution really was a huge break for him. As you see, Gott's teammate John Quackenbush now starting to make his presence known, as he has a run underneath of Roy Warren. That's for the 3rd position, and he gets a huge run on the 90 of Andrea Lynn Caldwell for 2nd, and all 3 wide for the lead as Quackenbush now has a run on both Caldwell and LaBouffe, and John Quackenbush is your new race leader. The 5th caution of the day would fly on lap 45, and Vinny LaBouffe's great run suddenly comes to a grinding halt as he slides up and into the wall on the backstretch, cannot get back down, and hits the end of that wall. Very, very hard contact with that end of the pit wall. And as you can see, the 13 of Aubrey Wood, the 34 of Parker Witten, the 71 of Zach Gott, and the 49 of Arthur Gordon were all in front of race leader John Quackenbush when the caution came out. So they all are all back on the lead lap, and Gott in particular has 4 fresh tires. In the meantime, his teammate John Quackenbush leads at the halfway point of the race, and Roy Warren currently running in 2nd, the 90 of Andrea Lynn Caldwell in 3rd, and Nate Patrick, one of those guys that was a lap down earlier, is now up to 4th position with Star Banner in 5th. Great run for Quackenbush, not really known as a short track racer, but doing a pretty damn good job here today. The 02 of Jennifer Duke gets a little bit loose in turn 4, smacks the wall a little bit, but she does keep it under control. No caution flies for this incident. 71 of Zach Gott on those 4 fresh tires is bulldozing his way through the field. He's underneath the 04 of Betty Cox. That's for the 7th position. And now he sets off after the 58 of Sean Sanchez. According to timing and scoring, Zach Gott is being scored as the fastest car on the racetrack. Of course, having those 4 fresh tires certainly helps matters quite a bit. The 99 of Roy Warren currently running in the number 3 position, and actually now moves up to the 2nd spot now that he gets around the 66 of Nate Patrick. Another spectacular run for Roy Warren, who's trying to get up into the top 10 in the point standings. And he had a great top 5 run at Manhattan last week, of course. His teammate Parker Whitten earned his first career win in that race as well. So Michael Brown Racing certainly looking at some good things as of late, and Roy Warren trying to continue that trend. As the 71 of Zach Gott now makes his way back up into the top 5, and he's got plenty of time to get back to the front. Those 4 fresh tires really paying dividends as he now hones in on the rest of the top 5, as the 66 of Nate Patrick is there. The 99 of Roy Warren is now getting passed by Valerie Forge. That's for the 2nd spot. Nate Patrick passes him for 3rd, and here comes that blue and gray number 71 with a great run underneath of Warren, who's not able to get back to the inside before Gott fills that hole. Gott now up to the number 4 spot, and he is closing on the lead quickly and closing on the back of that 66 car very, very quickly as Patrick tries to get underneath of Forge, but we got a caution coming out on lap number 61, the 6th of the day. As Eric Drakerider makes the same mistake that Vinny LaBouffe does, gets up into the wall and can't quite get out of the way before hitting that pit wall, or hit the end of that wall. And Nick Van Gelder also getting a small piece of that. Tough break for Van Gelder, who is having a pretty decent run. But Eric Drakerider, another race, another DNF for your championship contender. Boy, his season really become unraveled. John Quackenbush continues to lead the way in that number 28 car. He has only 1 win this season. That was all the way back at Long Beach in April. But he's doing a good job today, hoping to capture his 2nd victory of the season, and on a short track no less. Caution number 7 flies on lap number 68. The 02 of Jennifer Duke, and a bit of a 3-wide situation with Gott and Nate Patrick. Duke drifts up the racetrack into the 66 of Patrick. That draws the caution, and wow, Patrick just barely missed clobbering the end of that pit wall right there. So very lucky for him. Quackenbush continues to lead the way. Valerie Forge currently holding the 2nd spot down, and right behind her is the 71 of Zach Gott. But they have some lap cars that they have to deal with before they can get to Quackenbush, who's looking for his 2nd win of the season, his first on a short track. Well, whoa, he slides way up the track, and he smacks the wall out of turn 2. That allows the 08 of Ray Takita to get underneath him. And coming off of turn 4, he has a good run on the 08 and tries to keep her behind her. But coming off of turn 4, he smacks the wall again. This is similar to what we saw at South Boston earlier this season when he had the lead and started smacking the wall in the middle portion of the race. And right there, and you see it costs him as he loses the lead to Valerie Forge. And now here comes his teammate, Zach Gott, to the inside to take over the number 2 spot. So it was looking like a surefire victory for Quackenbush suddenly goes for naught, as his car is suddenly getting really tight on him. And Gott, with those 4 fresh tires, now has a run on Valerie Forge for the lead of the race. But just before he can make the pass, the caution flag comes out. The final one of the day on lap number 80. Star Banner gets up and into the wall on the backstretch, and much like Drakerider and Vinny LaBouffe hits the end of that wall. And as they're coming back around, the 60 hits the end of the pit wall. He got a little bit pinched by the 90 of Andrea Lynn Caldwell, and the 49 of Arthur Gordon also collected in that as well. Valerie Forge leads on the restart. 15 laps to go, and she gets around the lap cars on the inside and clears them going into turns 3 and 4. And Zach Gott now stuck having to deal with the lap cars, especially the 08 of Ray Takita, who is really giving him a hard time as he tries to get around her and try to take off after that 24 car. The 04 Betty Cox has an engine failure on her car, and that would end her night early. Gott finally gets free of the lap cars and begins to try to chase down the 24 of Valerie Forge. As you can see, he is rapidly catching her. It was 2.5 seconds, now it's down to just 1.6. He gained 0.8 of a second lap, but is running out of time as he's looking to try to get his first career win in the state of Ohio, his home state. He's never won, he's been close. And of course he finished 2nd in the Ohio 100 in the Arlo Tornado Alley Truck Series last year. But he's desperate for a victory as he comes around, and they will see the white flag Scott continues to press hard to catch that 24 car, but it is all for naught on this day as Valerie Forge comes off the final corner to take her 4th victory of the season. She wins the GameOnOhio.com 100 here at Kil-Kare. A disappointing second place for Zach Gott, who might have had a shot at it, but lap cars would end up taking it away from him, and he was very vocal about the lap cars after the race. Roy Warren gets his 2nd straight top 5 finish. Great run for him. Quackenbush comes home in 4th, although he did lead the most laps, so a little bit disappointing for him. Aubrey Wood, yet another top 5 finish. Sean Sanchez, Nate Patrick, Parker Witten, Andrea Lynn Caldwell, and Ray Takita round out the top 10. And may I remind you, Quackenbush, Wood, and Sanchez all had to start at the rear of the field for this race too. So great runs by all of those drivers. Jennifer Duke comes home in 11th, Betty Cox in 12th despite falling out of the race with a handful of laps to go. Joshua Michaels, Arthur Gordon, Star Banner, Nick Van Gelder, Eric Drakerider, Vinny LaBouffe, Chuck Johnson, Sean Johnson, and Alexis Farr round out your field here at the GameOnOhio.com 100. And of course, 2 of your championship contenders, Eric Drakerider and Chuck Johnson, both having troubles here today. Here's a look at the Rose Cup standings. With 5 races to go, Drakerider continues to lead, but that 80 some odd point lead that he had earlier is now down to 11, as Valerie Forge has now sneaked up into the 2nd place, just 11 markers back. Zach Gott in 3rd, Witten 4th, just 39 points back, and Chuck Johnson 74 back. And as we look at the overall point standings after 17 races, Chuck Johnson still leads, but he has a new challenger. Moving up to 2nd place is the number 24 of Valerie Forge, now just 8 markers back. Quackenbush drops to 3rd, Drakerider drops to 4th, Gott remains in 5th. Parker Witten, Sean Johnson, Nate Patrick, Star Banner, and Andrea Lynn Caldwell round out the top 10. The next time the stars and cars of the National Pro Cup Championship hit the track, it's for the 3rd prestigious event of the season. It's the 18th Pennzoil Ohio 250 at the Ohio Motor Speedway. Thank you for joining us today. I'm color commentator John Lyondike, and we'll see you next time.